everybody, I'm Alexis, and I teach young millennial women how to get out of their comfort zone and take risks in business. So in this video, we're talking all about the mindsets of a high achiever, and basically the whole idea is if you're limited to everyone else's advice, then you're gonna be just as great as everyone else. And so basically in this whole video, I'm just using only my own ideas. I'm not using ideas I've heard in any other videos. These are all my complete original ideas. So stick around because I've got a freebie, and it'll help you kind of clarify your thinking, and it'll help you kind of clarify your goals. So basically before I get into the tangible steps, I just want to real quickly tell my story. And basically last summer in 2019, when I was 23 years old, I had kind of a run-in with cancer, and it took them about 6 months to figure out what was going on. And I had tons of doctor's appointments and a series of appointments, and they kept saying, oh no, you know, you're too young, you don't have cancer. And then with every appointment they'd be like, oh no, this is surprising, actually this is a lot more dangerous than what we thought. Oh, it looks like it's harder than what they normally are. Oh, this lump is bigger than what they normally are. And so it took them 6 months to figure it out, and thankfully I didn't have cancer. But over the course of that time, I went through kind of like a quarter-life crisis, existential crisis. And basically what I realized was that if I woke up tomorrow and died, I wouldn't be happy with what I've achieved up until this point. And what I realized was that with the trajectory that I'm currently on, it's no different if I were to wake up 60 years from now. With the trajectory I was on, I would wake up 60 years from now, die, and not be happy with what I'd achieved. And so I said, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I realized that I'd been sold a lie, and the lie that I'd been sold was you get good grades in high school so you can get to a good college, get good grades there so you can get a nice stable job, boom, you'll have a great life. And I found that to not be true. I had done all the steps, and now I have 40 years in front of me, and I'm not happy with the way that that looks in front of me. So I decided to kind of step out of the system that everyone else has planned for me, and I want to help you do the same. So the first thing that I want to say, the first lie that I had to dismantle, is that just because you've put in the time doesn't mean you'll reach success. And so I used to think that if you worked, 40 years, you work your way up the ladder, that would be successful. But what I realized from when I had that run-in with cancer is that I don't necessarily have 40 years to be working my way up the ladder. I could die tomorrow, and so I'm not happy with working my way up the ladder for 40 years. Another part of that lie was that the way you get that stable job is that you go to college and then everything's all great. But I went to college and I did everything that they said, and I now see my peers who don't have the student loan debt and who are doing great. And what I realized, it doesn't take college to be successful. What it takes is some form of education, and there are all sorts of different forms of education that can make you successful. One form is college and formal schooling. Another one is books. And I think another great form of education is moving. If you were to move across the country or to move to a different country, that's a fantastic form of education. So I would kind of change that to be, it's not just college plus time equals success, it's quality education plus hard work equals success. Now, I were to say, if you were to continue believing this lie and just go to college and work your way up for 40 years, you may be solidly in the middle class if you consider that to be success. You probably won't have a chance to be creative or to live the life you love or have time to live it. My second lie that I had to dismantle was that everyone's advice isn't good. Now, if you want to do what the masses have done, then go ahead and follow the advice that the masses give. But if you want more than that, stop listening to the criticisms from the critics who sit on the sideline and critique you while you're actually taking a risk and stepping out and getting work done. The next thing I would say is stop settling for the plans that have been handed down to you from culture and that are just maintained from the status quo. I think that settling for those plans is worse than an arranged marriage, because it's basically an arranged life. Your entire life has been arranged for you because they have this outline of this is the schooling and this is what you're going to do for the next 40 years, and without realizing it, you've opted into a program that you never signed up for. And in my culture in America, basically what everyone wants is like the from rags to riches American dream. What I've seen that to actually manifest as in real life is you go to college for 4 years and you get tons of student loan debt, which you're now going to be paying off for 10 years. And then you're going to work your way up for 40 years so that you can have a comfortable retirement. So you pay off the debt you keep accruing from all these different purchases you make. Then you work your way up for 40 years, and congratulations, you made it. And you know why you do that? Because it's safe. I followed that plan because it's safe. It is laid out in front of you. It's a methodology laid out in front of you, and you do it because it's safe. I'm here to tell you that there's another way, and other people have laid it out. If you just have the courage to go digging for that information. But it's out there. It's not impossible to find. More difficult to find, but it's not impossible to find. So I just say, stop playing it safe. Take the risk. The risk is safer than you think. And that's what I'm going to spend my time really doing on this channel, is outlining how taking the risk and stepping out of the status quo is easier than you think. Honestly, the hardest part about taking a risk is you. It's your fear of rejection, your fear of failure, and your fear of the unknown. It's nothing else. So literally, once you can get over your biggest hurdle, which is you, then the next part of it is pretty safe and pretty easy. So when we're talking about the mindsets of high achievers, literally the way to get a mindset of a high achiever is just to step out, and then along the way you will develop the mindset of a high achiever, because that is how you learn. You learn by stepping out. That's how you get the better mindset. You step out first and get the mindset second. The next lie that I had to dismantle in order to have a higher mindset is to stop tweaking yourself to be more electable. Once you become electable, you're unelectable. People like it when you're real. And I think it's better to be 100% real or 100% fake than it is to be 80% real. It's those small tweaks on reality that are the most insidious and the most difficult to deal with. And that's what people can kind of smell out. And what's difficult about that is because you feel like you're being relatively real to yourself, but from the other person's perspective, they can kind of smell it out. And once you do that, you've now sold yourself. You're slave to the consumer. You're slave to the man, once again, which is what you were trying to avoid in the first place. And I can totally understand the temptation to do this because I've been doing this myself the last few weeks. I have been trying to figure out a niche for this YouTube channel, and I've been going this way and going that way. What I was trying to do was trying to make myself more electable. You know, what are the popular trending topics on YouTube right now? And I'll just mold myself to fit that. So I would say the slight shifts are the most dangerous because no one's going to call you on it. And you yourself may not notice for a decade if you're not careful. So thanks guys, those are my tips. So basically, like I said at the beginning of the video, I do have a freebie if you just click on the link down in the description. I think it'll be really helpful for you to take that first step into taking out and stepping risks. I'm trying to give at the end of these videos manageable chunks. It's not like, oh, go ahead and quit your job and, you know, change everything overnight, but I do want to start giving like micro acts of vulnerability so that you can step out and eventually do the big thing that you want to do. Thanks guys, bye.